Welcome back to All Things Pink. Today, I have a very, very special guest, and we are going to talk about a bunch of diverse things. I've been very blessed in my life to have known a whole diverse array of strong, empowered, and wonderful women, and this lady is no exception. Please welcome Miss Carol Mans.
Out in the open to the horizon, where your heart can finally breathe. Out in the open to the horizon, baby, let your love run wild, wild, wild. You gotta get out there and explore, baby, let your love run wild, wild, wild.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you about a whole bunch of different things, and it's really awesome that I know people and I have people in my life that we literally could not fit it all into one podcast. So hopefully you'll come back and talk about some more stuff.
Absolutely. I would love to.
So you recently retired,
I did in March.
and how is that going? Because I'm jealous. So tell me all the good stuff.
Okay. So I retired in March and I love every second of it. I have been busy doing benefits for people to help them. I have a couple of friends that were diagnosed with cancer and I'm trying to help raise money for them. So we do benefits at the Blue Ridge Sportsman's in Fairfield, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I go around and get all my friends to make raffle baskets and we do 50/50s.
Yeah, I have a flyer here for the Katie Jarrell fundraiser.
That's correct. That'll be held on June 29th, Sunday from 4 to 7. We're also doing a bike run that morning, that afternoon, and the money will all go to Katie. She was diagnosed with terminal cancer and she has 3 children. So I want to help raise as much money as I can to help her not worry about having to buy groceries and pay her
Of
bills.
course, of course. That's so sweet. I don't doubt that about you though.
Yeah.
I don't. And later we'll put the information about what you're doing
Okay.
and how to contact you in the description.
That'd be
But
great.
yeah.
Thank you. I
What a
appreciate
beautiful way to spend your retirement when technically, you're supposed to be just relaxing, but I think it's a wonderful way to like fulfill to still have a purpose.
I feel that that is my purpose. I feel that helping people, I want that to be my legacy. I really do. I want that to be my legacy, that my friends and family, especially my grandchildren, sorry,
That's okay. Don't be sorry.
will understand why I do what I do. And so that I can perhaps hand that down to them, that they'll help somebody who needs help.
Exactly. And I think we don't just because we retire, um, and I'm the same way because every time I talk about retirement, then I'm like, oh, here's another thing I can advocate for. Or
Yeah.
like, I don't think I will ever outgrow that.
I don't think I will either.
Yeah, and I think it's
don't.
beautiful. And the people always appreciate it, and we don't have enough of it.
I think it's a community of people, like my small circle of friends has grown, and I think people appreciate you more if you're helping other people and they want to join in to be a part of that circle. So
Oh yeah,
each time I do a benefit, I accumulate more people that want to help because
that's wonderful.
they see how much love and outpouring we give and they want to be a part of that. So I'm trying to build a community of giving.
That's amazing. Well, I think it's human nature to have a purpose, and as you know, I work in recovery, so and have for feels like forever. When we lose our purpose, we tend, whether it's mental health or addiction or anything, you're losing this purpose, and the purpose is what keeps you
It's what keeps
whole.
you going.
Yeah.
It's a, yeah. I wake up in the morning and I think, okay, what good deed can I do today?
Oh, That's really sweet. Was I just expected that. I know you, so I'm like, I did not know that that's what you were doing with your retirement. I think it's amazing and super cool, and I'd love to support it any way that I can. Prior to retirement, tell me a little bit about what you did.
Oh Lord.
Because, and let me just preface this with I always thought it was like just me that did like a million different things. It was like, oh, I'm gonna be all these, different people, right?
Uh,
And I'm finding more and more that the people that I connect with the most
mhm.
have done and are doing the same thing.
Well, I have an array of jobs, okay, professions. It started when I started working at age 14 as a waitress and then cleaning houses and stuff like that to earn money to buy my own school clothes. Um, I then went to high school and um, when I graduated, I worked at a manufacturing company that built cranes in Greencastle. Um, I left there and went to work in a nursing home as a nurse's aide, and then I worked as the administrative secretary. I left there and went to another nursing home and worked there for a short time. I worked in healthcare for many years, like 25 years, between nursing homes and hospital
Mm.
and in doctor's offices. And I decided one day that I'm done with all this. I mean, at the one office that I finally left at, I was the assistant to an assistant medical examiner, and I would go on death calls
Oh God.
and I would draw blood and urine off of dead people. I mean, who does that? But
Oh
but as office
wow.
manager, I could do that, and I was afforded to be able to do that and help investigate different scenarios if it was a homicide or a suicide. I've
Oh,
seen a
interesting.
lot of interesting things. Some not so interesting that was pretty bad.
Oh,
Um,
God.
but you have to separate yourself, your real self, from the job.
Yeah.
And that's how I was able to cope with what I saw. Um, when I left there, I decided that I wanted to do something different, just something off the wall. Excuse me, my friend worked in a law office in Hagerstown, and she needed somebody to come answer the phones. I'm like, cool, I can do that. I love the job. So I got hired at a law office and I worked there part time. There was another attorney's office that needed a part time person. So I worked two part time jobs in two different law offices at the same time.
Okay, right on.
Um, I also worked in a beauty shop. I used to help rinse perms and color and that
Yes.
kind of stuff. I worked in a radiator shop. I did their books. I mean, I've done a lot. I worked when I retired from a law firm in Chambersburg, working for three different attorneys, and they were all younger than me. So I felt like the mom of the office.
Kind of like you are with the friend, like our friend group.
Yeah,
You are a little bit like the mom.
the mom. I'm the
Yeah.
mom. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And that has nothing to do with age. That is everything. Just you're like the caretaker
Yeah,
of us.
that's what I do.
Well, that's good. It sounds like in a lot of those jobs you were too, like kind of like
Oh,
with
forgot.
the cohesive thread.
I forgot one other job
Okay.
in between the two different law offices. I sold vibrators for men with erectile dysfunction. Yes, you
Oh
heard
my God.
correctly.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to explain that. Like,
Okay, so men who had prostate cancer, they lose function to be able to have sex,
hmm
to be able to
Yeah.
make it hard. So the doctor I worked for was a urologist. He built these things, and they're like salad tongs, kind of that you vibrate as you close them. And it's to
Holy
help
God.
stimulate the growth of the penis
Nice.
in order for a man to get an erection. So yes, I sold vibrators to many different people all over the
Wow.
world. We shipped worldwide, and I did that.
I don't mean to laugh at that. I have no judgment whatsoever. I just was not expecting that to
A
come
lot of
out.
people don't. But you know,
But hey, somebody's got to sell those,
right. You know, there's
you know?
I honestly can say my best job that I had was the assistant medical examiner job. The assistant as an
Yeah.
assistant. I love that. I enjoyed that. That was something that I felt like I had a purpose.
Right.
You know, I was trying to find my niche.
It sounds like you had a pretty good purpose in almost everything. I mean, because you really have to be a certain kind of person to work in a nursing home. I give a lot of props to people in hospice or a nursing home, um, because I would probably fall apart. Like,
Well,
I don't think I could emotionally like handle it. I want to stick them all in my pocket, take them home.
you do,
Yeah,
but you can't.
yes,
You
'cause
can't.
that's weird in and of itself.
I know.
Like,
I know. You still have compassion, and that's the biggest thing. You have to have compassion and the wherefore to know how to be, what's the word I'm looking for? How to be a caring person and understanding what they're going through. You
right,
know, if you put yourself in their shoes and give them the dignity that they deserve,
right.
then you've done your job. You know, and a lot of people lose sight of that. They don't, working in a nursing home or working in healthcare, you know, I worked in radiology, I worked in, not radiology, I worked in urology, and
Mhm.
I also worked in physical medicine and rehab and orthopedics. You have to be sympathetic, you know,
Of
and
course.
understand what they're going through so you can help them.
I mean, what I think that's I mean, we've bounced around with this the idea that people are don't have a level of understanding or show empathy is just a problem with society, period.
It is.
And it takes a strong person to be an advocate, or to have a job where that's what you're doing. You give a piece of your soul to these careers,
Yeah.
like an entire piece of your soul,
Right.
and you have to stay strong, and then you have to go take a knee somewhere because like it affects you, like it affects you. But I'm wondering how did you find challenges in any of these careers being a woman?
Yes.
And what challenges did you face being a woman in any of you do no naming names, like you don't have to name names. Um, I feel like there's one you said that might be a slightly challenging for a woman to like, but that might not be it. So, but what were those
There
challenges?
there were actually two or three. The first one was when I worked in the manufacturing company. I worked for a gentleman who, being very young, I was only like 18 when I went to work there. He, just to put it bluntly, he was not a very knowledgeable boss. He would always call me on my phone, which I set right outside his door. He would pick up the phone and say, "Come in and sit on my lap and take dictation."
Oh,
So,
jeez.
yeah,
That's so ridiculous.
yeah. So, I mean, and being young and stupid, I didn't know about the sexual harassment back in the late
Wow.
70s. You didn't hear about that.
You're right.
You know, in the late 70s, there wasn't such a thing. Now, when I left there, I did an exit interview and I told the human resources department why I was leaving because I'd had enough of him taunting me and berating me.
Yeah.
So I left. It wasn't a big deal. I found another job right away. Um, the other job was working with the vibrator company. I would have men who would call and say, "Well, how wide does it open? Because I have a big penis." I mean, seriously, if you have a big penis like that, then you really don't need a vibrator. But I think it was just,
Exactly. I
I
think
think
it
it
was
was just somebody trying to make light of these
Yeah.
problems, but trying to keep a straight face
There's no
and not
way.
laugh at
There's
men
no way.
was really hard.
I'm sure it is because you probably at that point have no idea if this is a joke, like if
or
they're
to be
being serious or
serious.
if, yeah,
Right,
or if he just doesn't understand how the
right.
device works. I can imagine that, you know, the really sad part, you're talking about the harassment that's happened in the 70s
Mhm.
and in the 80s and the 90s, and we are still experiencing that now.
And it's wrong. It's
It happens still.
hmm it does.
And it's
Fortunately, unless people change their mindset and know that you can't do that to other people, you can't belittle people, and you can't berate them into doing something that they don't want to do.
right.
You know, they, and I'm not being sexist when I say this, I'm not. But I mean, women can be hitting on men in the workplace.
Oh yeah.
But
It happens both
yeah, it
ways for
does.
sure.
But being a woman and being in that role of being harassed like that, it messes with your self-esteem.
Of course it does.
And you don't know what this person's been through to know how it's going to affect them in the long run.
Oh
And,
yeah.
you know,
And you don't know what their history is
right,
and what they've already experienced. And for goodness sake, it's a workplace.
right,
Like, come on.
right.
You know, especially now, like we can talk about it now. We can, you know, there is there's protocol for God's sake. Like it's not like, you know, like there's sensitivity training for God's
I
sake.
know.
But if it continues to be perpetuated, then the levels of what people need to be taught and educated on become ridiculously high. To me, a lot of this is common sense.
It is common sense. Just use your head on your shoulders.
Yeah. That's where I don't know. Have you had people that worked for you?
I have. Was an office manager, um, and in a medical office, and I loved it. Um, the girls that worked for me, I think, really appreciated the fact that I tried to go above and beyond to make sure that everything ran smooth. And many times we would do outside things. We went to Ocean City one year.
Oh, it's bonding.
And I paid for the room, and we all went to dinner and laid on the beach.
Oh,
Had a wonderful
nice.
weekend. It was great. There were 6 of us. So, yeah, I love being a boss, but I didn't really want all the responsibility.
Yeah, the current workforce leaves something to be desired these days. So
Yeah,
it's really,
younger
how
people,
do I say this?
I'll say it.
You say it.
Younger people, and please don't take this the wrong way, but younger people don't have the work ethic that us older people have. I'll be 65 in November. I always, whether I woke up with a cold, sick, almost on my deathbed, I would make sure I went to work.
Hmm.
I took pride in knowing that I was going to go to work, and I made sure I showed up. And I did my job, whether I was sick or not. A lot of times I would be sent home if I were sick because they didn't want me spreading germs,
Right.
but I always showed up. And that's the biggest thing. People want money handed to them, but they don't want to actually do the work. They think,
Or they don't care about the quality of the work.
correct.
Yeah,
It's just like
that's
my last job. I helped run an office for 3 attorneys. We we saw criminals. We represented them for DUIs, different things, homicides.
Mhm.
I didn't actually see them. They were in jail.
Yeah.
But, there were a lot of them that come to the office, and I had a good rapport with those people. And anytime they would call in, they would say, "Is Carol there?" If somebody else answered the phone, because they knew that if I didn't know the answer to give them the correct answer, then I'd find out and get back to them. You know, attorneys can't always be in the office. So,
Right.
you know, if it was a matter of knowing when we filed something, I could always tell them when we filed it and we're still waiting for a response. And that's all they wanted to know,
Right.
you know. But as far as giving them legal advice, I'd never give anybody legal advice
Right.
because I'm not an attorney, nor do I want to be an attorney. So it was getting to the point that working for a younger group of attorneys, it was starting to get more hectic, busy in the office, and I was getting tired. Tired. I didn't want to work anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's time for this old girl to retire and enjoy what rest of my life I have.
Yeah.
So I retire.
And I think that's wonderful. And I'm working on my plan to get there as well.
I wung it. My whole life has been I wing it.
Yeah.
I never made a plan. I wing it.
So I always say that getting older is this like it's a slow unraveling, a slow shift. After you turn 40, and then it keeps unraveling. It's not just like, okay, 40, boom, this thing happens and like you're done. It's this progression, but there is something I felt when I turned 40, and then the years after that, and then I look back, like, right. Like there is like this slow unraveling. What do you think? And of course then more happens over 50 and 60, and then it just keeps going. But what do you think changes? Like for you, like I can say a bunch of things. Like I stopped caring about certain things. I've reinvented myself over 40. I started like my focus shifted, and sometimes it still shifts. You're going through a bunch of different things, but what do you think for you were like the top most important things that you noticed changed?
Mainly my body, my health. Yeah. No. I think that as I got older, I realized that from the time I was like 30, I think is when I started noticing a bunch of changes in my life. In my 20s, I was carefree and, you know, went out, partied a lot, and raised a child. Yeah, I was being carefree. Um, but from 30 on, it's like my life took a turn. And then from in my 30s, I went to my 40s and met a wonderful man when I was in my 30s. Um, and we will be married 30 years. Alan and I will be together 30 years this year in
That's so
October.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to know him too.
He's a sweetheart. He takes really good care of me. He loves me with all of his heart. I couldn't ask for a better husband.
I think it's really interesting too because we have mentioned this frequently and probably will continue to. A lot of people have found like that thing much later than they thought they would.
Right. I mean, I was married for 15 years the first time, and it didn't work out. And I'm grateful for that to have happened because I have a daughter.
Mhm.
Um, and she's a beautiful girl. I love her dearly. I wouldn't have traded any of that time.
Right.
But just because her dad and I didn't get along didn't mean that I couldn't make the rest of my life happy.
Yeah.
So it worked out. I was set up on a blind date and it worked out.
What do you think that, because that's a long time. Um, what do you think is one of the, or not one, I'm sure there's lots of secrets to this, but for long lasting a long-lasting relationship, especially when you're older, what do you think some of the keys are?
To be patient. You know, I learned from my first marriage what not to do in the second marriage. And my first marriage was more verbal, um, as far as just saying bad words to each other. Okay, not caring really what we said. To moving into another relationship, I knew that I didn't want to be that person. I wanted to make it work. And you both have to make it want to work. Yes, there were challenges. We butted heads many times over the last 32 years, but at the end of the day, we always come together. And yeah, I may go a day or two without talking to him if I'm really upset with him. And because he likes to snap, where
Ah,
I don't want to snap.
gotcha.
So I give him the cold shoulder for a day or two, and then we kiss and make up, and everything's fine, and we talk about it. The biggest thing is communication. Biggest thing. Talk
I
about
like healthy communication, like being able to understand each other.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
while he was working, he was dealing with a lot of issues at work, and those issues were brought home.
Yes.
And I know he didn't mean to do that, but it's hard to separate work
Oh, it is.
and not get it out of your head to come home to a wife and try to manage things at home.
Mhm.
So I tried to be understanding. It was difficult at times. And
As it should be.
yeah, and finally, after 4 years or 5 years now, he's been retired. So I told him I wanted him to retire. He retired a little bit early, and I'm glad he did because he became a different mind. He had a different mindset and a different personality once he left that place that he was at in his head, and he could put that at the door and let it there,
Yeah.
and he didn't bring it inside.
It's boundaries.
It
Those are
is.
boundaries, and I
It
think as
is.
you get older, you start to learn how to make them
Right.
and then how to enforce them
Right.
and how, like, to I mean, in a relationship like that, you are with that person, you know, for better, for worse, all these things, and you have to say, "Okay, this is what I want,"
Mhm.
and that whole concept of both sides has have to make it work if it's going to work. I mean, you don't have to. But
But if
like
you want it
if
to
you want it to
last.
last, if you want it to work, you're gonna have to come to understanding on both sides that I feel like it has to be this fluid situation.
Right. I mean, we both have had health issues that we've had to work together through.
Mm.
My husband's had 3 heart attacks. He had triple bypass surgery. I've had, over the course of my lifetime, probably 50 surgeries.
your, your scooter, you're like
And now
you always had like the
I've had 40 foot surgeries between both feet.
yeah,
I hang out.
God.
Who has 40-foot surgeries? I mean,
You.
seriously. But I did. And I'm able to walk. I'm able to do things. I'm grateful. You know, the stuff that I went through previously, it's all under the bridge. That water is flowing and I'm walking and talking. Yeah, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. Is there anything you would do differently? If you could go back and do anything differently, is there anything that you would do?
As far as,
Like in your life?
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you may not regret it because it teaches you something, right? Like everything's a lesson. Um, I think for me, like wasted time
Yeah.
not finding the purpose
Right. I think
sooner.
I'm like you. My relationship with my daughter, I wish I would have done a little bit better. I felt like I was maybe a lacking mom at times. She says not. but I think I was. And I think that's a mom thing.
It is.
You doubt whether you did the right things. But believe me, children do not come with manuals. You have to wing it.
Oh God, yeah.
You do. You have to wing it.
And realize that you're not going to be 100% all the time, depending on what you're dealing with. Like
Right.
sometimes we have obstacles, and sometimes you literally do the best you can, and you're never going to feel like it was enough.
Right. But that's one thing I do regret, that when she was little, that it would have, I feel like I could have done a better job.
Hmm.
That's,
I don't think you're alone. I think that that's normal, to feel like that.
yeah.
Is there a lot of times? Okay, I think one of the reasons I liked you almost immediately, maybe it was the purple hair. I don't know, because I was like, you're comfy in yourself, and I dig that. Like I dig, like, I am not too old to get on this dance floor.
No, I have had purple, blue, green, blonde, black, gray. I trying to go all white, but yeah, hair color. I do my own hair mostly. Um, I like to stand out. I
Yeah.
like people to notice me. I hence have fairy hair in my hair. It's just something different, and people notice that, and they will come up to me and say, "I love your fairy hair," or "I love your purple hair."
Yeah.
You know,
I just thought it was neat because I'm like, it shows a sense of like, this is who I am. I make no apologies for this. I think it's great.
and it inspired other people to do it.
Yeah.
I've had other women come up to me and go, "I'm afraid to do my hair that color," or I love teal. Girl, you need
Hey,
to go
man,
for it.
diet. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have. I believe that life is too fragile to worry about those things. And my mom always asked
Just
me
hair.
if I. Well, I know, or clothes.
Yeah.
For me, it's the shoes. I never want to get rid of my shoes, and it
Mhm.
always like. I love them. I can't always wear them for as long as I used to be able to wear them for, but I will put these babies on.
Mhm.
I'm sitting down. I'm good. I don't have to walk downstairs with these right now, so we're good. But I'm not too old for that, or for what I like to wear, or for where I want to go. The things I'm too old for is like the bullshit, or like the drama.
Yeah.
I have no time
I
whatsoever in
don't
my life for that.
I don't want drama in my life either. That's like, I circle myself around friends that appreciate the fact that I try to be drama free. I really do. I mean, I will call on my friends and say, "Girl, I need help with a benefit."
Yeah,
And they're there.
yeah.
You know, I and if they're having a benefit, they call me, "Girl, I'm there. I'm there." I
Right.
reciprocate. I just you appreciate your friends more as you get older. Um, I love having lunches, going to tea. I love going to tea. It's like, you know, that's my thing. Um, but I do appreciate every friend that I have. I love them all with all my heart.
Yeah.
And there isn't anything I wouldn't do for them. If one of my friends called and said, "I'm broke down on 695, the Beltway.
Yeah, you'd be
Tell
there.
me which mile marker you're at. I'm coming. Just sit tight."
Yeah.
I would do that because that's what you do, and I know that my friends would do that for me, you know.
I think that's something. I don't know if this is the case because I'm not younger. But the way I was raised in the time, that was something that was very important.
Mhm.
If you said you were going to do something,
You show up on
you
time.
show up, and I'm always late, but I'm there,
Yeah.
and I think, and just not promising things that you're not going to be able to do. I learned that one because I'm a fixer.
Mhm. And
I learned it in my relationships, like, this is not going to happen.
Mhm.
again, things I did not learn until I was much older, realized I've been doing this wrong for this many years. Why did I wait so long? But that core thing, if I say I'm going to be there, like I'm going.
Right. You're
Unless I'm, like, really sick or, like, I can't go or, like, something, like, catastrophic
Mhm.
would have to happen, or I'm gonna feel bad, and it's gonna weigh on me, and it's gonna be, like, guilt me for pretty much ever,
Yeah.
you know? Like, so, yeah, like, that's
Yeah, your word is everything. If you're giving your word about doing something, you need to follow through with it. That's part of your character, you know.
yeah.
It is. It's what
I think
makes you
it's
you.
I think it's, a lost character. I think we as a society do not value that as much as we should.
Well, I'm hoping that, the younger generation learns from us older people that, without character, you really have nothing. You have to be a good person and show up to let people know that, hey, I really am a good person.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's like threads that we're taught when we're younger. And if you're not taught that, or that's not modeled for you, or it's not supported by social media and society and how we learn things now,
Mhm.
we learned them from what was around us. And sometimes it wasn't good. So we wanted to do the exact opposite
Mhm.
of that. Or maybe we had good models. Now everybody learns everything from TikTok and Instagram and social media and influencers and God knows what else. So it's really hard.
Well, I've been on the receiving end of people telling me they're going to do something and then they not follow through. And it's hurtful. It's very hurtful. And I don't want my friends to feel hurtful that I've hurt them.
That's a part of being mindful. Like you take it to heart. And
Mhm.
I think it's thoughtful, sensitive people don't want to hurt someone else. Oftentimes they have been hurt themselves to a degree that it actually they're aware as a piece of being aware.
Mhm.
I find that, and I would say that it's the younger generation, but I don't think so. I think it's just certain people because I run across people that are my age that aren't mindful at all.
Right. I mean, there's
They're
people,
like, they're just not.
yeah, there's people in the world, unfortunately, that they think that they're better than everybody else, or they just don't value people like we do, you know, and you can't fix that. I mean, other than just try to be kind to them and show up for them and let them know that, hey, you can be a nice person and still care about people.
That's something they have to fix within themselves
Right.
and be aware of. Like, we
Right.
can't fix that. We can't mom that one out of them at all.
No.
We'll just like treading water
You
there.
see, you see all these videos on TikTok of women or men being, I hate this word, this name, that being a Karen,
Oh yeah, yeah.
to somebody like in a restaurant, being rude to a waitress or a waiter. It's like, why? They're here doing their job. Just,
I think when you get older, you just get too tired for all that crap.
yeah. It's like,
That falls under the BS category. Like, do you really have time?
yeah.
I'm too tired for it.
It's costs nothing and it's less effort to be nice. Just
Yeah,
be nice.
not always nice. I think it depends on how provoked I am. Um,
Oh,
but not for like no reason. Like it's,
yeah.
especially to somebody who's like doing something for me or, public service people that are working. Like, come on, right? Or just people. I always joke about the garbage people post, and you're just like, are you serious? Like, come on. Like, do you have to comment that on there?
Yeah.
Is it necessary? I don't think it's necessary
No.
to do that. If you have an opinion, keep it to yourself. Right. But I think that also comes with age and being menopause makes me ornery. So like,
It's all right. I've been there and done that.
well, I have had such a good time sitting here talking with you, and I really hope you'll consider coming back
I would love that
and talking
because
some more.
we have more to talk about.
We have
I
some
promise.
really interesting things and important things to discuss.
We do.
So thank you
This
so
was-
much.
You're very welcome. It was wonderful, and I've enjoyed my time with you
Awesome.
as always.
As always, I know. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yes.
Please join us next time. We post weekly. You can also find us on Apple and Spotify. If you are watching this on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of these absolutely amazing conversations. We have all kinds of information on our website at allgreatthingsllc.life. So until next time, please join us again on All Things Pink.
You gotta get out there and explore, baby, let your love